Hey, Mark, fake banter for the intro.
That's all I know how to do.
Great.
Good to be here.
Welcome to Tuesdays with
Stories.
Hit her in the face with a surfboard.
And then the duck fell out of his bag.
Surf's up. And she didn't even flush.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Mark Norman and Joe List.
Yeah! This is Tuesdays with Stories, everybody.
Nah, that's terrible.
This is supposed to be cheesy.
My radio is spitting at me.
Here we go. We're live in 3, 2.
Hey, folks, here we are. Party time. Excellent.
It's like we're looking at Wayne's basement, only that's not Wayne's basement. When's the last time you watched Wayne's World?
Swing. Oh, geez. The first one. It's been a while, but it is killer.
Yeah, but how about my friend Matt Wayne, old M-Dubs? You know him.
Big Wayne's World.
He's in... How about that?
Hey, out of the gate.
He's a big Wayne's World 2, superior to Wayne's World 1. How do you feel about that?
There's always this guy. Return of the Jedi is the best one. Godfather 3 is my favorite. I hate ice cream. Get out of here with that shit.
I mean, I haven't seen Wayne's World 2 since 1988, but...
Sure, saw it in the theater.
Yeah, me too. But I remember liking it, but I don't know it. I don't know anything about it. I don't remember the plot. I think I saw it twice, maybe.
It's Cassandra, the whatever her name
Tia
is.
Carrere. We met with
Tia
Sam.
Carrere, that's right.
Outside of the cellar.
Swing indeed. She's a hot piece of ace.
Hoy-hoy.
I think she's half trans. But then there's Walken.
Walken's
the villain.
in it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and
He's
they
trying
do
to bang Cassandra.
I have no
they do
recollection of
the
this.
Graduate spoof at the end because he's about to marry
Oh,
her.
I do remember that. I remember that vaguely.
Yeah, and that's all I remember. But one is way better, and it just sets it all up. And the TV program, it's all public access. Aurora, Chicago, with the Queen in the beginning.
They start with that?
Dango. Yeah, that was huge. What an opening.
But they open with that because
Yes.
that's originally in the first.
No, I'm saying the first. I'm talking about the first one.
Oh,
yeah, that was a killer opening.
I
Penelope
see.
Spears directed it.
I got distracted. I see. I thought you were saying the second one opens with Bohemian Rhapsody.
No,
Okay.
no. The first one opens with it, and it's killer.
Alice Cooper, that's the first one. Feed My
First
Frankenstein. He knew a lot for a roadie, that stuff. Milwaukee.
Yes, Chris Farley cries, all that shit.
Right,
oh my
right.
God, here we go. You know, he's the rocker guy. It's gold.
Right. Okay. Yeah, the first one is good, but I watched it a while ago now. It's weird. We're like so old. Because I
know.
watched it recently, but I was like, no, that was 7 years ago because we're in the old apartment.
Yeah.
But I remember Sarah and I watched it and I was like, I don't think this holds up so great.
What?
But I don't know. Maybe I was in a mood. You know the mood. I wasn't with friends.
Yes.
But I was 38 at the time. But when you
Sure.
saw it when I was 11, I was like, this is mind blowing.
Mind blowing. I mean, what happened to Mike Myers? I mean, what a run he had. He was the guy. He had the Austin Powers, the Wayne's World, the other one. What else?
Yes.
Shrek. I mean, he was cooking.
What has he done lately?
He did that weird the sexy guy, the sex guru. And it was then he
know
did
the
Austin
sex
Powers
guru.
3 and all shit in my mouth.
Yeah, boy, he was hot.
Oh, yeah. King.
Nobody stays hot. You better watch out, buddy. That's why I never want to be hot. I just want to be warm-ish.
Luke
Yeah.
List.
Just the first touch of the left dial when you're like, it's a little warm, but I can't do anything with it. That's what I want.
Yeah, it's the same with a puss. You want a puss to be warm, but you don't want a hot puss because then you're like, well, I'm going right into gonorrhea alley. here.
Exactly. Same with cum. When you drink cum, you want it to be warm. You don't want
Yes.
hot, boiling cum to burn your little hangy thing off.
No, I guess not. Hot cum. That's what they put on the Cinnabon. That was Louis' bit.
Oh, yeah. Jizz?
There's no way that's not hot cum.
Boy, his clips for the TV show come up, and I'm like, this is gold.
Oh, the show is very, very good.
I got to get back there and watch that show again.
Whatever happened to him?
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he is
He's like in
something.
hiding right now.
Oh, yeah?
Well, not hiding, but he's taking a break, a breather.
Ah. All right, well, good for him. He's
But-
had a hell of a year.
What else does? Oh, I watched White Men Can't Jump,
Oh, another classic.
which that's how Matt Wayne and I originally bonded. I never met anyone that knew White Man Can't Jump so well.
Oh,
It blew my mind.
You can't hear Jimmy.
I can hear Jimmy, white rhythm section.
Yeah, there ain't no views, and there ain't no Vista no views.
There's some flaws in that film, though. You watch, like just technicalities. What were some
Well,
of
the
them? that I was-
Jeopardy thing. Oh, your wife has been studying for Jeopardy for 10 years, and she gets. Oh wait, They got her on because the guy worked
They got
on
her
the lot.
on.
Okay, that makes
and
sense.
a hook shot.
Oh, quiche, though. She's like, I'm learning words to
foods
start
that
with
start with the letter
Q,
Q,
and
yeah.
then that happens to be a category. Get the fuck out of
It's
here.
wild, but one of my favorite things about it, I caught a big flaw in the film.
Okay.
If you want to hear it, I think you might
Well,
like
hey,
it.
I love a flaw.
So
Bobby
they're
Flaw.
originally in the motel, and then the Stookies,
yeah.
brothers come, and they bang on the door, and he's like, "We got to get out of here. Let's go." The Stookies, and the apartment is all decorated with presidents and maps because she's studying for Jeopardy.
Oh, right.
Which I think was like revolutionary. Like she's like she
a
talks
Puerto
like this,
Rican?
a Puerto
Yeah.
Rican who knows
From
everything.
the Bronx. Billy! Billy, no!
Some great giant nip in there, by the way.
She had the tank top on with a can on the side.
It was life changing. By the way, I saw that movie in the theater with my parents.
Wow.
My parents took me to see it at Brockton East Cinemas.
What?
And
That's a lot of black culture to throw at Luke List or Steve List.
I know, in a black town, I might add, too. A black theater, and we were the three like, whoa, we're here. And we were like the Fablemans of the Griswolds.
Right.
And I'm rewatching it. First of all, I mean, so much to talk about with this film, but when the scene at the beginning where she has no panties on, he puts the money in her pussy. And he's like, I'm gonna put my. You can see the side, and I think they didn't have like intimacy training and coaches back then. Like Woody Harrelson's like, I'm putting this dirty money on your cunt,
Oh,
and you're gonna
yeah.
enjoy it.
Wow. Put your money where your mouth is. Holy shit.
But then they fuck like they're like fucking like this
Oh,
with
yeah.
side tit and nipples.
Woo.
And I was 10.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy.
Oh, but the flaw. So they're in the
Yo,
motel.
Sorry, I'm getting hot and bothered.
The Stookies. I don't want to bother you. The Stookies come.
And warm and bother me. We
And-
hate hot.
They leave in a hurry, right?
Yeah.
They take off,
The
and
van.
then the next scene or two scenes later, they're in a new motel,
Yes.
and all the pictures of the presidents are smacked back up there. The maps.
Oh, yeah.
So she's redecorated. They're on the run.
Yeah. Right.
They left without anything.
Yes.
And they move into a new motel, and she's like, "Let me just tape up McKinley here and
Yes.
all this stuff." It's fully decorated. What do you call motel?
Right. With all her facts.
Doesn't make no sense.
Well, she had no job, so she's got a lot of free time.
But they left without all the stuff.
So she got new president
she had to
pictures.
go out and get a new encyclopedia to rip out.
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point there. Yeah. Oh, Billy. Yeah,
Awesome.
you're right.
Also, the whole scam. Why would you think this guy can't play? It's 1992. Larry Bird has had a full career. Kevin McHale's had a full career. Chris Mullen, all these whites. And Billy Hoyle has traveled to Watts
Yes.
with a basketball.
Yes.
He doesn't seem suspicious. You don't think he could be able to play basketball?
Yeah, that's a
you would
good
think
point.
the white guy in the group would be the best at basketball. He's out of.
Aha.
And there's also a 350-pound guy because the bakery ain't open yet. Why not make him play?
It's true. And I heard a slam. But also,
Basketball.
but he is a wacky looking. Woody Harrelson has an insane mug.
Yeah, it's a bad mug.
Bad mug. He's got the dumb hat. He's all shut. I'm Billy Hoyle. You know that whole thing. And I think growing up in a black neighborhood, it was just an assumption. You
Yes.
just go, hey, you're the honky. You got no rhythm. You're a queef.
I know, but I feel like if you were really streetwise, you'd be like, there's a white guy who's hanging out here with a basketball.
Yeah,
He's traveling with a basketball.
Clearly a hustler.
Yeah, he must play basketball.
Right.
But fun film nonetheless. These are just fun. Sometimes people take this stuff as like, you don't know how to watch a movie, just enjoy it. It's a movie. I'm like, well, I enjoy the movie. I'm
No,
having fun
love the
picking it
movie.
apart. It's fun.
It's fun, but and there's a lot of great comedy in it. You know, Raymond, is that you? All that shit. I'm going to get my other gun. Gold.
Shoot everybody's ass.
But Wesley Snipes is so goddamn charming, and he's so smooth and confident and funny and all that shit. Ooh, it's so pretty. Oh, he's good. Man, I want to fuck him.
But Raymond is the best character and performance in the movie. And that guy's like an NBA player. He's
Is
like a
he
UCLA
really?
star. Yeah.
No way.
Big star at UCLA. Played with the Blazers, I think.
And I think the pawn shop guy was a comic.
Yes, he's a famous comic.
fat
Red
black-
something.
Yeah, Red.
Yeah.
Not Fox.
Just died recently.
Yeah.
Or a couple years ago. Time is a construct.
Little Red Riding Hood.
I never know what that means, really, when people say gender's a construct, my asshole's a construct.
No,
I don't really get it.
I never did construction. I don't get it either. It's a lot of, because then they go, it's a construct, it's not real, but then I'm going to change genders. So if it's not real, why would you change?
Yeah.
And wouldn't it just be all one fluid thing? And then there's toxic male. But how do you know they're toxic male if there's no gender construct?
It's all very confusing. I don't want to go down this
all
hole too
pipes.
much, but someone else brought up this point, too, of like people change gender, they put on like dresses and lipstick, but I'm like, aren't you appealing to the construct. The makeup. You switch genders, now you're doing all the constructed things for that gender. That seems confusing too.
That's good.
I'm just saying I'm confused. I'm not saying nothing about anything.
You can't be confused. I'm confused sexually. I'm very fluid.
My father's gay. By the way, speaking of which, I'm getting all these gifts. I got to say thanks to everybody. Look, this one just came in the mail. My father's gay onesie for the folks at home.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you, everybody. I mean, everyone is so sincerely excited and happy. Someone gave me a bidet, by the way. Shout out.
Wow.
To Mr. Bidet, mate.
Begay. Yeah, hell yeah. I came in the mail once and all the letters got stuck together, but that is a good time.
You see, I like stuff you don't have to think about too much. That is very funny. Funny guy. I mean, we got to get into it because I've missed the hell out of you, my
Good
son.
to be back, Fatty.
It's so weird. We were talking about this off air, but it's weird because you went all over the planet and the whole thing, and I went over here and up there and saw my sister's asshole for a couple days. And now you're back, and I'm back, and it's like nothing. It's like you were never gone.
I know. It just swings by, and I was in a whole nother world. It was a whole, an ecosystem over there where you got your opener, you got your tour manager, you got your wife, you got your mistress, and it's you just live in that world for a while, and then you're back here.
I mean, it must have been quite exciting. All I can think about is the women. My God, there must be all these surfer chicks who are like, oh, Mark. Oh, I can't do the voices.
Yeah, it's a hard accent.
Yeah.
No.
I've told you before, I've made love, and I hope they don't hear this. I've made love to 2 Australians in my life, and both asked me to come in their face. 100%.
That is interesting. Well, it's a wild place over there. You remember in the 90s when Whitey was a little more wild? They have that. They're on an island, so they're not as like toxic male. It's shut up, sit down. It's a women's world. Future is female. They're just like, whoa! They're beer drinking, nut job, bogan rednecks.
Right.
They still have that like streak in them. That fire in the tits.
Right.
We don't have that. Every white guy's like, yes, sir. I'll do whatever you want. I'm oppressor, critical race. Do whatever you got. Piss in my mouth. They don't have that. They're just like, yee-haw.
Sure. Now, what does bogan mean? I don't know bogan.
Bogan is their redneck.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
you gotta teach me the lingo. I never went there for a month, for God's sake.
I got the whole thing down. I love the slurs. It was the first thing I asked. I asked the pilot when we got there. I said, give me some juice. And he said, he goes, you got to watch out over here. It's very ethnic. And I go, oh, yeah? What are we talking? He goes, Italian. Like, that's how white it is.
Wow.
Italians. I go, I'm half Italian. He goes, get out of my face. I'm not a fan.
Wow.
They call them wogs.
Wogs?
Wog is an Italian, or like a darker, like a Middle Eastern is a wog.
They changed the P to a G. Wop.
Oh, wop.
Wop and wog.
Wop and wog. Sounds like a doo-wop dance.
Wop and woggin'.
Wop and woggin'.
Bulk bogan. Been sitting on bulk bogan for a couple seconds.
That's good.
Not bad.
So Bogan's heroes, but just had a hell of a hoot and a hanny. They call it a hooly dooly.
A hooly dooly.
That's a fun time. We're having a real hooly dooly. All cut chock-a-block means full. This room's chock-a-block. All these wacky terms. Fanny means pussy.
I've heard that.
So there's all these wacky little twists.
No kidding.
It's a whole other world of it. And they're about 10 years behind us. So when you come out there with your jokes and your zingers and your yuck-em-ups, they go, geez, this guy's advanced.
Wow.
And you're like, no, you're just still on Weird Al.
And did you have the toilet? Did you see the toilet flushing?
I checked the toilet. The problem is the toilet now just goes...
Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah.
It's like an airplane toilet.
They're better than us in a lot of ways. It's clean. It's safe. Everybody makes a living wage. You don't have to tip. The no tipping is a beautiful thing. It's lunch over
So there's
there.
just no tip. So they get paid and you don't tip.
That's it. They go, oh, I'm good. I make a decent amount of money as a bartender.
Wow.
They just get paid well. They have health care. But here's my big deduction. Because they all move to America eventually if they want to hit it big.
Sure.
So we do have that.
Oh, yeah.
You're over there going, wow, they're better than us. They're smarter than us. They're more attractive. They're thinner. But there's not a lot of exceptionalism.
Right.
They don't have a Steve Jobs and a LeBron James over there.
Right.
When's the last, you don't hear about a lot of Australian guys inventing the iPhone or whatever.
Yeah. I wonder what they've
The didgeridoo.
invented. The
boomerang.
Rugby, or what do they have?
That's all British
Yeah.
influence.
I guess it's all British, really.
They do a lot of our movies. They love our music. Like you walk into a nightclub, it's Tom Petty playing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's heaven.
Yeah, I got to go down there.
You would love it. They would love you. I got a lot of. It's all pipes. I'm gay. jizz in my ass.
I was on my way there. That goddamn COVID. They fucked
know.
me.
Yeah.
Fuck COVID.
They locked it down hard. They're a nanny state.
What's that mean?
Well, my opener, James McCann, shout out, funny son of a bee.
What happened to Youngblood?
Huh?
What happened to Youngblood?
Oh, he opened too. I guess I'm talking about it. The host, he was the local.
I see.
The local queef.
Big fanny.
And yeah, and he goes, you better buckle up, mate. And I'm like, I'm in the back seat. And he's like, oh, they'll get you. That's a $400 fine. I was like, $400 back seat? Nobody buckles in the back seat. He goes, yeah, we do it here. They get you on everything here. So he's like, we get free health care, but you pay for it up the ass with you got an open toe sandal. That's a fine.
Well, that's the thing. When you have free health care, you got to monitor because you can't have these free assholes. Because that's why we can't have free health care here, although we should.
Yes.
But everyone weighs 900 pounds, and they're like, that's going to cost the taxpayers $75,000 because you're drinking a 75-ounce Coke at the movie theater.
Exactly. And then the guy's so fat he needs 2 seats on the plane, and he yells at the airline.
Yeah,
It's
no good.
It's a topsy-turvy world for the fats.
It's all pipes and backwards, but all right, well, give me some of the juice. Give me some of the goods. I mean, I want an Australian cactus cock right in my ass.
All right, well, let's start from the get-go. Flight out of Newark. Here's where they get you. This is it. So we fly from Newark to San Fran.
Okay.
San Fran to Sydney. Sydney to Perth.
Perth.
And Perth is another 5 hours. So you land in Australia, this excursion, this 20-plus hour flight, and a San Francisco flight, which is 6 hours, nothing to sneeze at. And you go, we made it. We got one more. And I go, what are you doing? I'm texting my agent. Why the fuck am I going to Perth first?
That's what I'm wondering.
And he goes, because Perth is on the other side of the island. You got to get it out of the way. It's going to be hell, but you won't have to go back there. You can just fly home.
Right.
So not bad.
That's not bad. Okay. Because either way, because you'd rather do that than fly from Perth on the way. You got your fresh legs.
Exactly. And he's like, it will be hell. You suck it up at the beginning, but then you're good to go once you knock that out. So I was like, all right, fuck it. And I bring the lady. I get bumped up to first class for the San Fran.
Nice.
She's in the back where she belongs in the
Absolutely.
kitchen.
Love it.
Yeah, and this is my gig. Suck it up, sister. You know who you married.
Couldn't agree more.
Thank you. And then I go, you know what? The wife's coming. This is a big moment. I'm springing for the lay down to Sydney. The 20 hours.
Oh yeah, you got it. I mean, I really think international trips, no matter what it costs, put your house up for sale, like a mobster who gets arrested. Put the house up for collateral. Get the lay down. It's a different trip for you.
Here. So she's never done the lay down.
Oh.
We always fuck standing up. But I got her the lay down. We're across from each other. She's here. I'm here. We're both laying down, covers up. We cheers cookies. The cookies are warm. I got a champagne. She's hand jobbing me. We got all the movies. That was the highlight of the trip, was the lay down. I didn't want it to end. I took a nap. I watched 80 movies. I ate all her meals. She didn't want them. She was asleep. I was like, I'll take it. I ate 9 desserts. The ice cream cart, Jerry. There's a cart.
Wow.
You can get the walnuts, the sprinkles, the jimmies, the whipped cream, you name it.
Remember the old joke? And then the lady says, you want walnuts? Yeah. Would you like jimmies? Yeah. Would you like rainbow sprinkles? Yeah. And how would you like your nuts crushed? Well, how would you like your tits shot off?
I've never heard that one.
I think it was in a film. I forget the film.
I like it.
What
What was the Good Will Hunting one? Anybody need anything?
The blowjob. He runs out. He leaves the microphone on. I want 2 things: a blowjob and a cup of coffee. Don't forget the coffee.
Oh, the lady runs up and he goes, "Don't forget the coffee." Okay.
The best part of that is when he says, "You ever been on a plane?" He goes, "No, but it works better if you tell it in first person." Fun film. A lot of flaws there too.
Big flaws, bad apples. How do you like them? So, flight. We get to Perth. Another 5 hours. We're just like, God damn it! And that was coach, and that was just a kick in the dick because you're all wonky. The time is different. You got a little sleep, but not enough. Whatever. Land in Perth. It's Perth is like the joke town there. They're like, oh, Perth, that's the fucking boonies, that's the sticks. Beautiful city.
Perth.
Right on the water, clean, pretty. You know, they're younger than us.
What do you mean?
There. The America's what, 290 years old?
Oh yeah. No, not that many. 250.
250
About
something.
250.
They're probably 205 or something.
Wow.
And you got to hand it to these. I know it's all prisoners. They did a hell of a job.
Well, you've got prisoners. You know, prisoners are good people. You know, yeah.
They're not all pedophiles and murderers. Some of them are parking ticket and DUI.
Sure.
So they threw them over there, too, and they had to make it work. And where's that movie? I want to see the movie of the prisoners going, well, we're here. Let's start digging. We need a road. We need a Walmart.
Well, you got Cool Hand Luke, kind of.
I'm talking about, I want to see
the road.
how'd you start the city?
Right.
They just landing on this bastard land. It's all spiders and rocks and kangaroos. And they said, we got to put a skyscraper right here.
That's something.
We got to get plumbing going. We got to have a didgeridoo. I don't know. It's impressive.
It's wild that it all got created. We're sitting we're on the 17th floor right here. These are load-bearing walls. They're not going to come down. We're just up in the sky. I mean, it's bananas.
Wood, Jerry. I thank God for smart people. You think what's this? I don't know.
I have no idea how one single thing works. The camera's filming us. Somehow I look ugly on there. The microphone's got a foam thing with hair sticking out of it. The fact that I'm talking in here and now people are listening to this across the globe.
It's cuckoo bananas. I don't know where to begin, but thank God for those nerds out there who didn't get laid and figured it out, because we're not doing it.
How do the movies live inside the TV? I don't get it.
Who are these people coming up with this shit?
It's wild.
Wild.
Hey, everybody. Tuesdays with Stories is brought to you. I'm already excited to say Blue Chew.
Asian.
It's brought to you by Brew Chew. It might not be as easy as it used to be to get the motor running, if you know what I mean, in the bedroom. You turn the key, but there's no gas in the engine, folks. You okay, babe? Mm-hmm. So even if you wanted to, your partner won't be able to drive stick. You know what I'm saying. Blue Chew is here to help get things going. They're a unique online service that delivers chewable ED medicine right to your door to increase performance and confidence. With the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost. You'll be ready to go whenever the opportunity arises. This stuff is fantastic. Everybody swears by it. I mean, literally everybody I know has been like, I've taken this. It rules. It makes you rock hard, confident, bulging biceps.
I'm hard right now.
This stuff is the tops, man, and it's cheaper. You got to save money. I mean, everywhere you look, everything's more expensive. Not Blue Chew. It's easy. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll get a prescription in just days.
Yeehaw.
Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and shipped to you in a discreet packaging. Wink. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use, our promo code Tuesdays at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's nothing. That's BlueChew.com, promo code Tuesdays to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. Thank you, Blue Chew, for sponsoring the podcast. We appreciate you. Back to the show.
Hey, folks. Tuesday Stories brought to you by Displate. Ooh, baby. Love that display. Let's face it, you're not going to go to the frame store anytime soon, and you're not printing off any photos from your phone to display in the house. You got that right. Get all the art you need, ready to hang in seconds with Displate. Displates are high-quality metal prints that come in millions of cool designs. They're easy to hang and swap out anytime with the magnet that comes with every Displate you purchase. We love Displate. They look cool, they're sexy, they're sleek, they're metal. They pop. They stand out. I got a nice taxi driver, De Niro, in front of the old checker cab in the mean streets of Manhattan. And it looks badass. It's got a nice glossy finish. Get yourself one of these. It's the future. No matter what you're into, there's a Displate for you. Check out their Back to the Future collection, Indiana Jones, Ozzy Osbourne, you name it. You could even submit your own art to get printed and sold, hanging anywhere and everywhere. Wow, that's awesome. Click the link in my description to see some of my favorite Displates and to get to my special discount. Get 1 or 2 Displates at 27% off and 34% off when you buy 3 or more discounts. Discounts automatically applied to your cart. Use code Tuesdays when you visit Displate.com to get the discount. That's Displate.com, code Tuesdays, or click the link in our show notes. Gift yourself or someone you love the unique art with Displate. Get on it. So, I'm in Australia. We're in Perth, and we go, what do you do in Perth? They go, you got to see the quokka.
Got the quokka.
You know about quokka?
No, I don't know about the quokka.
Quokka. It was a quokka shit, if you ask me. But they're these little rodent things. They're about this big, like a little nutria almost, or a beaver.
Quokka barrel.
Yeah, and they live on this rotten-ass island, and you take a ferry to the island, and you pet them, and you feed them.
And they're animals?
They're little animals like that. They're cute. They're on my Instagram. They're really cute, and you feed them. You're not supposed to, but we did it anyway. We gave them ice cream, Cheeto. We brought America to this island.
Mammals, amphibians?
Yeah, a little rodent thing.
Okay.
Little mammal. And they're cute. You can pet them, and they hop. They're cute.
How about that?
But they've taken over this whole island, and there's like 2 things on the island. There's a hotel and a beach and a restaurant, and it's all Quockaville.
That's 3.
All right. So can't count. What's that? Dyscalculia. So we go, hey, we got to go see the quokkas. So we look at the ferry, and everything's like 4 hours. It's an island off the Australian island. So you go, this is where Youngblood is good. Youngblood goes, we could take a chopper, but it's like 1,500 clams. And I go, well, what's that in American? Because the dollar is worth less there. So we win.
Wait.
No,
the dollar's worth more.
Our dollar's worth more
right.
than theirs.
I see.
Yes. So it's about 68 cents to the dollar.
Okay, that's pretty good. So that's like $900.
Exactly. So I go, fuck it, let's do it. How often are we in a chopper?
Wow.
Let's go full Kobe. And we got a Brad, the promoter. We got this guy, Scott, and he's the tour manager. And having them on board was awesome. And we just rent the chopper. We go over there. And we pet the quokkas. We fed them. We got photos. We fucked one. We come back on a chopper.
Chopper, sick balls.
It's a chopper, baby.
So that's exciting. So it's just you, Youngblood. Did Youngblood bring a dame, or what was he doing?
No.
So you just had a third wheel the whole time? Did that get weird?
Third wheeled it. We ended up making out with him at one point just to let him feel included. And he also had we had the tour manager and we had the promoter who were awesome. I mean, they brought Louis out. They brought Chris Rock out. These guys, They love comedy. Gillis, everybody. So this guy, Brad, super cool, and a big booze bag. So we all had a great time.
That away, Brad.
Yeah, B-Rabbit. So we just saw these quokkas. We had a great time, and then we flew back and do a show.
And did you have the headsets with the talkies?
You get the headset.
Mr. Youngblood, whatever, all that shit?
All that shit.
That's fun.
And you get you ever been in a helicopter?
Many times.
Just that lift. You're like, wow, we were on the ground and we just went like that. There's no runway.
It feels funky, and it's quite dangerous, too.
Is that right?
Well, Kobe and...
the other guy?
Yeah, the war.
Yeah.
Black Hawk down.
Black Hawk, yeah.
Black Hawk up, my ass.
No up, yeah. Okay.
That's a good porn. Black Hawk up, and then ... my ass. And,
That's not bad.
It's like a African porn. That was Africa, right? Where was that? Somalia?
No,
Somalia.
that was
I think it was
Middle
Somalia.
East, I thought.
I think it's like
Kuwait or something.
I think Black Hawk Down's Somalia.
Really?
I could be wrong.
Oh,
I've been wrong before. Can we get a reading on that, Chuck?
Somalia? Black Hawk
Down?
I don't know. I thought that was Kuwait or Baghdad or one of those.
I'm thinking Somalia.
Okay. That
Bosnia?
may be right. They're very hungry over there.
I think it's Somalia.
Peter?
Hit me with a Somalia. Come on, hit me with it.
All right, let me know.
Hit me with Somalia. Come on, big Somalia.
I believe it won Best Pick.
Show me Somalia.
Oh, wow. The wine expert, a sommelier.
Woo.
All right. How about that? Somalia.
Yeah, but Africa, there's parts of Africa that feel Middle Eastern, I think.
That's true.
Egypt's a desert.
Tunisia.
Somalia, there's Muslims, it's desert. Muslim desert, same thing.
Ah, there you go.
And it's also like just across the thing there, the strait. It's like Long Island to Connecticut.
Right. Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Egypt to Saudi Arabia is like a 10-minute swim.
The Strait, yeah.
I think.
Well, there should be one to Fire Island called the Gay. If we're going to have a Strait,
I like that.
you got to mix it up.
The Gay of Gibraltar.
Yes. Now that's a porn. He's rock hard. The Rock of Gibraltar. Okay.
Rock Hudson. He was gay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Maybe The Rock is.
Cock Hudson.
Okay, Cock Hudson. Now that's a gay porn star, Cock Hudson.
That's pretty good.
How do we miss that? All right, so go there, do the chopper, and I was supposed to do Australia a year ago, but then COVID jizzed in my ass, so then you wait another year. So tickets move a little more because you actually have more time. It's like a hidden little helper there.
Right.
So we sold this theater out, and it was great. We did 2 shows there. We had this guy, Andrew Wolf, open. He was fucking hilarious. The comics there, it's almost like England, where everybody's funny. Australia's got that. They're funny people.
Right.
And he opened and just killed it. And having a tour manager, I've never had before. So you're on the way to the theater and he's texting you, what are you hungry for?
Yeah,
and I'm
that's the
like,
best.
oh, I don't know, Thai food. He goes, we'll get Thai food for the green room. And I'm like, oh, okay. So every night it was like, what are we thinking? Vietnamese, burgers, barbecue. And you just text Scott, hey, barbecue tonight. He goes, I'm on it.
No, it's incredible. It's the greatest. I've just been on the Louis tour where he'll say to me, hey, find some, what do you feel like eating? Find some place to eat. And then you just text Leah and then you get there and there's like a $300 steak sitting
Yes,
there with
it's
juice
safe.
and cum all in it. It's fantastic.
And Louis got half of it on his sweater. It was great. Yeah, those were good times. And you don't, I've never lived like that. And you go outside. He's like, the pickup's at $6.50. You go, okay. There's a black van waiting outside, and it's a good old time.
Now you can be the guy that keeps everyone in the car waiting for half an hour.
Oh yeah, I don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy, but you can be.
I could be that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the best part was you get some riffraff in the green room, and you go, we invented a code word because we have so many flights. You got to fly to Adelaide, you got to fly to Sydney, you got to fly to Melbourne. So we'd go, oh, I got an upgrade, and then Scott would be like, you got to go.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Oh, they're all going to hear it now.
Oh yeah,
That's all right. It's good for them. Well, they probably figured it out.
Yeah.
Once they were kicked out.
a lot of upgrade talk.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, you got an upgrade, huh? I'm like, oh yeah, got an upgrade. Well, when's your flight? 3 days.
What if there's a mix-up? What if you actually get an upgrade, then he throws May out to the curb?
I should have tried that. All right. But we had a great time. Upgrade and Blackhawk upgrade. But Perth was killer. And then everybody's like, you got to get, thanks for coming to Perth. One of those like, please, we love you. Oh my God,
Right.
thanks for coming. You fly to, fly to Adelaide. And Adelaide is the Austin of Australia.
Now, where is that on the map? Show
So-
me where he touched you. That's Australia. That's perfect.
This is perfect. Perth is here.
Uh-huh.
Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide.
Okay.
So we kind of went in order. Perth, Adelaide, Sydney, Melbourne,
Gotcha.
New Zealand.
Uh-huh.
So we go to Adelaide. It's a party town. It's not a huge town, but we went to an AFL game, which is a wacky sport.
Australian Football League?
You got it.
That's like rugby?
Yeah, it's
And
like
they pumped it off a
rugby,
net or something?
but soccer-y, but a little football-y. So you got a ball, and you have to bounce it every 5 steps, and the ball's shaped like a big ovary. And the ball, you bounce it. Sometimes it goes over here, and you go, oh shit! And then you can't throw it. You got to kick it to a guy,
Right.
And then you have to make it through these little posts. And when you make it through, the guy goes,
Really?
it's kooky. It's kooky. You eat a meat pie, you have a pint of beer, and they're so well behaved. There's not a guy like, come on, you faggot. Ah! It's just like, woo, okay. There's kids around, and then when they win, they go, woohoo! And then it just goes quiet again. It's wacky. They're way more polite and behaved than us. We got a fat guy out there going, you fucking suck on this, O'Neill. Trade that motherfucker. You bum.
But there's got to be some of that. I'm sure I've seen Australian brawls and yelling because Australians come here a lot of times. They're like, oh, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I guess you're right.
Oh my God, I heard that. I thought that was knocking.
Yeah, that was a big whoosh.
Um,
Pipes.
But there's got to be some real soccer hooligans and stuff somewhere.
I guess so. Maybe this was a friendly game. It was at noon. There's a lot of kids on the court and hanging out or in the stands. And it's a very sophisticated, quiet game. There's no music. You go to a hockey game. It's like, da, da, na, na, hey. And you're
Yeah.
just trying to have a conversation between innings.
I hate music publicly everywhere now. It makes
brutal.
me nuts. I'm 100 years old.
It's brutal, but they're very polite over there. And it's so weird, too, because all their players are sponsored by beer and KFC.
Oh, wow.
Here it's with Gatorade and Nike.
Right.
It's all like healthy, sporty shit. Over there, it's like I eat fried chicken every night. I'm an athlete. It's wacky. But I ate a meat pie. I had 2 miscarriages. I mean, that thing is just fat goo and brown gravy.
Wow.
Good times.
I got to get down there.
But it's also fun being the novelty. You go up on stage and people are like, "Oh, no, American!" You feel like a black guy at the Cellar. That's not there's a lot of black guys at the Cellar, but you feel like a black guy in
Indiana?
There you go.
Yeah.
So you have you're the Asian comic all of a sudden. You have a thing, and you can go, "What's up with this you guys do?" And they go, "Oh Nobody knows about our thing. Oh, quokka. He said quokka. They don't know about quokka. Oh, they're so stupid. And you get to be the fun, different, exotic guy.
Well, that's what I mean with the women, these bush women. They must have been going bananas for you. You're a celebrity. You're American. You're attractive-ish. It must have really been something. Did you see tits? Were they saying things? Did May have to fight anybody?
Not really. I mean, it's a theater show, so there is a disconnect. You get in, you get out. You get
No meet and greet?
No meet and greet. I couldn't do it. I did a
okay.
few, but they get too hairy. These guys really, they put them back.
Right.
So that Q&A every night was like, dicks. You
Yeah.
know, just so much angry shit coming at me. One guy was like, sheep fucker, you're a sheep fucker. And I was like, maybe I am. I don't know. How's it feel? Whatever.
Oh, jeez.
So good times. But... Geez, sorry. So much
That's
to
all
talk
right.
about.
Adelaide.
We go to
Gatorade.
Adelaide. Adelaide has a big strip, like a 6th Street.
Right.
And it's just pouring out of just drunks, and it's such a different world. They're puking everywhere, and they're having a great time, and the bar scene is booming, and they have mechanical bulls, and they're really going for it over there.
Wow.
They really party. We drank all night. We had too much fun. And then
So do you do a show in Adelaide, or are you doing multiple shows?
we did one show at this horrible venue. It was like a warehouse kind of convention center that they made into a stage. There's bleachers a mile away. It was brutal. That was the one bad show of the whole trip. But great town, great people, bad setup.
Now,
So-
are there bums and crime and stuff? Is it
No.
like here where you're like this, oh, watch out?
Not at all. I saw one bum, and he was doing a crossword puzzle. He
Wow.
was disheveled and stinky, but he was just minding his own P's and dicks. And
Crossword
sweet
puzzle
guy.
bum. Wow.
Yeah,
CWPB.
it's better over there. It's just they got a lot of. But see, we have highs and lows. We have Michael Jordan, but we also have the guy under the overpass doing heroin.
Right.
You know, and they don't have that. They don't have shootings like school shootings or anything. But it's all just very.
Even Steven.
There you go.
Wow, that sounds pretty nice to me.
It was pretty nice, and especially as an American, because you're like, there's not that rat race. Make a lot of money. You got to make it big. You got to hustle. There's none of that over there. It's just like, let's get a beer and sit by the water.
Right.
So great time. We leave Adelaide to go to Sydney. Now we went to Perth. We went to Adelaide. These are two kind of normal towns, but you go to Sydney. It's New York City, baby. Skyscrapers, the Opera House, the harbor, beautiful rugby teams, giant hotels. It's like boulevards with a tram going down, millions of people everywhere, and you're like, oh, shit, this is it.
Wow. But so Sydney's smaller than Melbourne, right?
I believe it's a cunt hair smaller, but it feels more businessy.
Give me the best comparison you can. Melbourne to an American city, Sydney to an American city.
Well, they always do the L.A. New York one.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, those are the
Which is which?
They say Sydney is more L.A., but I think it was more New York. And Melbourne felt more L.A. Melbourne has a beautiful beach, and it's more wokey and gay, a lot of gay pride stuff everywhere.
Wow.
So Sydney felt more New York. It's congested, it's tight, there's little buildings and big buildings and little shops.
Sydney Dean.
Yes. So great time. Sydney was like, Sydney swept us off our feet. We landed, and they go, hey, there's a big light show downtown. I go, light show? What is that? It was amazing. There's a giant drone show. It made all these, things on the sky, like pictures and shit. And we went to a nice dinner. We all got along. We did shrooms. We saw the lights. We just had a ball. And in the theater, the Enmore Theater was killer. We did 3 shows there. They were all amazing. Just a hoot and a holler. The city swept us off its feet.
Are they going crazy? You come out, is it like...
It's crazy. Yeah, they're bananas.
Wow.
And it's so... We went to the zoo. We pet fucking kangaroo. I held a koala. I got chlamydia.
She touched my leg. Now, isn't it wild? Do you feel insane? Because I remember doing a show in Calgary in 2010.
Oh,
and
yeah.
sitting in my hotel, and there's a little, what do you call that? What do you call that thing? It's a used car. It just
Midget.
sits outside. You change the letters on it. It's got an arrow. It's like a coming attraction thing, like
yeah,
a
the
sandwich
light-up
board,
thing.
but it's light up.
Yes,
It's just like on wheels. Like I said, ghetto. But anyways, 2010, this is 13 years ago. I remember sitting at a shitty hotel in Calgary and looking and just seeing Joe List tonight. And it was like, and the lights blinking.
Oh, yeah.
But feeling like, this is insane. I remember me as a 5-year-old in my stupid house, crying, wondering why my parents wouldn't speak to me.
Yes.
And here I am in another nation, in a different, in Alberta, up in Calgary, and my name is in lights. And it blew my mind. And by the way,
Right.
nobody came to see me.
Sure.
It's just, I'm just at a comedy club. So now you're on the other side of the planet.
Yes.
Double the other side. The other hemisphere,
Yes.
south and east or whatever.
Ah.
Which is weird because it's like a Western nation in the Eastern Hemisphere.
Ah.
Isn't that weird?
It is. The whole thing's out of place.
It's like totally, everything's Western about it, but it's
Yeah.
in the East.
It's a lot of honky.
But anyway, so it's mind-blowing that you're selling out
It's
theaters.
crazy.
People are going crazy, and you just picture yourself as a boy masturbating in front of your mother when you were
It's
9.
wild. Yes. So I had all these feelings. You feel like a fraud. You feel like you're duping them a little bit. Like, these idiots think I'm somebody. I'm just a tard from Louisiana, and now I'm over here, and they think it's almost like when a comic comes in from L.A., and you go, we got to put him up. He's from L.A., and they go, but he sucks. And you go, but he's coming from L.A.
Right.
You get that boost just from being an out-of-towner.
Big boost. It's wild. I always think that people meet you, they're like shaking, like, oh, like, you changed my life, and I'm
Yeah.
gay.
Yeah,
and
well,
you're
that
just
was
thinking,
Michael J.
like,
Fox.
I almost killed myself like 10 minutes ago.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
that's crazy.
And you go to these shows and they're all excited. And you're like, I still have jizz on my hand from when I rubbed one out before this in a bathroom.
I just had that in Columbus. People are nice. It's a nice little pop. I mean, it's not, a theater, but it's a nice, like, yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, I was just napping.
Yes,
Like, right
yes,
before the show, I was literally
exactly.
in the green. The MC's like, I'll give you time. And I'm literally like this. Like, he taps my knee. And I'm like, oh, shit. And you have no idea. It's so strange how
Yeah.
recently we were napping. But anyways,
Nappy-headed hose.
you're on the other side of the planet. And it's sold out,
kooky.
and they're so excited to see you, little Mark Norman from New Orleans or wherever you're from.
The gratitude is unreal, but it's also uncomfortable. You're like, what is this? Do they know who I am? This is crazy. They just hear us on all these pods. They love American shit. They love
Right.
American culture. They love the pods and the Rogans and the YouTubes and all the music.
I came in their faces.
Yes,
it's crazy.
yes,
They're like,
exactly.
put your cum on my face. That's
Fuck.
pre-podcast.
Wow, pre-cum. Talk about planting a flag. That's fuck a flag on the moon. Jizz on the moon. That's the ultimate accomplished territory.
It's crazy to
Conquer.
think of them flying all the way back and being like, yeah, I had some American cum on my face. Like, oh, what was it like?
Yeah.
And you're like, his teeth were bad. He had no money. He was skinny, and his father hated him. Evidently, he started crying about
But he
it.
was American, and the cum was red, white, and white.
Yes,
Wait. Yeah, it had a little
red,
blood
white,
in
and
it.
goo.
There we go. That's the title. Write that down, Chuckster. So, great time. And yeah, you're right. It's all very wacky. It's strange, but again, they reward you for the flight too. They go, we appreciate you coming. We know it's hell to come here, so we're gonna give you a nice welcome because you made the journey. So
Right.
you get a little bump for that. So the Sydney shows were really. It felt like you're in a big city and pulling people in. That felt really cool.
Right.
Like, oh my God, I'm in the capital town and I'm cooking.
It's wild to be like, I got to fly 24 hours. They need some laughs down here on the other side of
Yes,
the planet. I mean,
yes.
that is really something.
And laughs from you. So we went to. So we go to Sydney. We do a show. Youngblood finds a bag of Coke on the ground. Literally, we did a little meet and greet
Oh,
in
boy.
Sydney. And everybody left, and it's a whirlwind of people shaking hands and jerking off and kissing on the cheeks. And everybody leaves, and we get all our merch together. We pack it all up. He goes, "Oh, look at this little baggie." And Coke over there is very rare. Here you can get Coke at the bodega. Over
Sure.
there, it's like this bag was probably like a 50 bag. He said over there it's $600.
Wow.
That's how rare it is over there. So
Someone dropped their Coke?
just dropped a little baggie and all the excitement. And Youngblood found it, and he's like, "I'm not gonna do it." I'm like, "I've never done Coke, but let's hold on to it." So we meet up with the other comics. We go do an open mic, which was brutal. I bombed my tits off. So weird. 3,000 people, hooting and hollering. Open mic, same material,
Wow.
but that's comedy. Humbles you too, keeps you fresh, keeps you
Sure.
back to earth. And we all go out with the comics. So Youngblood's giving out Coke like fucking Santa Claus. And we go to this bar called Backstage. Old school, speakeasy, prohibition, in the basement, hidden, really cool. And one of the guys goes, do you want the whiskey tour? It's an old whiskey bar. And I go, sure. So we go in the back. It's this little cave. And this guy, this hot blonde guy, he's like 8 feet tall. He's like, this whiskey's $1 million. This one's $2 billion. Do you want to try any of it? This will be $800K if you want to try that one. I'm like, I think we're good. So then this guy goes, we got a bunch of Coke. So now all the comics are doing blow in this back room. And I had this moment of like, I'm in a basement in a Prohibition-style bar from, 1819. It's the oldest bar in Sydney. I'm watching all these guys do blow in this basement, drunk, and I was like, I gotta remember this. I gotta soak this in. This will be gone. This is quite an image. This is quite a moment. And they all do blow. They wouldn't shut the fuck up. And I slinked out the back and I went home.
I mean, that is wild.
It was wild.
It's like I always think about, you ever watch, and maybe we talked about this before, but you ever watch like a documentary about something, about punk rock or
the Sex
ska,
Pistols,
whatever, and you're like, God, I just want to be part of a scene.
Yes.
How fun. And you remember, we're part of a scene.
We're in a scene. This
we're
is art.
the comedy explosion, and you're out there doing coke in an old saloon.
Totally. I was talking to Bobby Lee about this yesterday. He's like, this podcast time, this will be like a documentary, like punk rock shit.
Right.
How it came and went, and it was a great movement, and they made a lot of money and fans and all that. So it turns out the coke was ketamine.
Ketamine.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that ketamine means, really.
Yeah. So, ketamine girls, but...
It's not keta nice.
No. And so these guys, like, we were up all night, we puked, we cried, we fucked, we did our taxes, and I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. So you end up seeing all these comics again and again because I would go to all the bar shows.
Wow.
And it's a little ecosystem. Everywhere you go, there's the cunty guy, there's the creepy guy, there's the old guy, there's the mean chick, there's the cancel lady. Every group is the same.
Wow. Who's the biggest comic down from Australia? Because I know Ronnie Chang was big there.
We got Jim Jeffries, obviously.
Oh, Jim Jeffries.
But this guy James McCann, keep an eye out for his fat ass because he was cooking.
Okay.
Killer material. So he was great, but I don't know. There's always that one guy where you're like, watch him. He's like a Stephen Wright level genius. He can't make a buck. He's broke. He lives under a bridge. So great time. Leave there. Sydney was amazing. May's thinking about moving there. We go to Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach is beautiful. It's a 15-minute Uber ride outside the city. It's incredible. It looks like Malibu.
Moving there.
Well, she's like, we should live here half the year. This is so pretty. I love it here. It's relaxed. And I was like, we'll do a month, baby.
Little side house, 29-hour flight away. That makes sense.
Exactly. So the city, we just fell in love. And then we fly from there to Melbourne. You're like, oh, this is actually better.
Wow.
So it just kept getting better. It was the Palais Theater. It's the most beautiful theater I've ever done. 3,600 people. On the water, you look outside, you're like, that's the ocean, that's the Indian Sea, or whatever the fuck it is, the Tasmanian Sea, cisgender, I don't know, devil.
Who cares?
And you're just like, this is all so crazy. This is where like a Philharmonic should play,
Right.
Big dome and ornate and the whole thing, and God, it was just I had to leave at one point and walk on the beach. I walked on the pier and I was like, this is insane. I had like a little freak out, then I went back in and did a set.
It is insane. It's just it's unbelievable. You can't even wrap your head around it. Big theaters, Australia, the ocean, the time difference, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you're in a different day. It's so crazy.
I know.
I'm like texting with you. I'm like, this is wild.
And you feel detached because I'm like, oh, I want to tell Liz this, but it's 2 a.m. over there. He's asleep. So you feel this loneliness, but you also feel this freedom of like, oh, no one can kind of get to me.
Right.
My dad hates me. He can't talk to me. That's nice. I'm in trouble with my lawyer or my accountant, and they got to just go, he's in Australia. We'll get him later. It's a nice feeling.
It doesn't even make sense that you could be that far away and that far ahead. It's so weird. It's like the Charles Schultz quote. Don't worry about the world ending today. It's already tomorrow in Australia.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, it's fun.
And that Schultz is good.
Yeah. I saw Schultz at the airport. Andrew.
That's fun to bump into him.
That was fun.
Yeah. So I got to tell you this. We flew on the flight from Sydney to Melbourne. We had a fun moment. We had a beer at the airport. We got there a little early. So Youngblood's walking down the aisle, and he's a big, fat, tall guy.
You got married?
And he's walking down the aisle, and he sits down, and he asks the lady, the flight attendant, he goes, does this recline? And she was like, I don't think so. He's like, fuck, man. I had a couple beers on the plane. I wanted to take a nap. I'm nice and he said something like, I'm sorry. I'm hammered. And she was like, ha. And I go, oh, yeah, I did one of these. And she comes back 5 minutes later and goes, sorry, sir. I got to move you. You're in the exit row. And you said you were drunk. So
Wow.
you can't sit here. And he's like,
Can't sit here.
I was joking. What am I, Rosa Parks? Like, this is crazy. And I go, and she goes, yeah, you see. And he goes, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm joking around. He's fine. He's sober. He hadn't had a drink in 20 years. He's gay. He's got a bag of Coke. He gave it away. And she's like, I'm sorry. You said it. And he's like, I was joking. And she's like, you said it. And he's like, well, what if I say I'm sober? What if I make a joke about that? Does that count? And she's like, no, you said drunk. So he had to move to a shittier seat. And he's like, I got this seat because I'm a big guy. It's an exit row. And he had to move. And I was like, he's on acid. He's a problem. He's on all these drugs. So he had to switch with some little Asian lady.
Wow.
He was furious, but it was a great moment.
That's hilarious because I used to do a joke about, or maybe I think I tried, or maybe Dustin did it. Tom, Dustin, and I went to Key West together, and we were laughing. This is obviously 17 years ago.
Yeah.
And we were in an exit row, and the guy, we were together going on vacation to Key West. Wow, I just had a fucking stroke. And the flight
queef.
attendant guy was gay. He was also gay.
They're all gay.
And he thought we were a couple, so he was like really hooking us up, and we were just laughing about how shithoused we were.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember which one of us tried to do it as a bit, but it's so funny, the idea of like, we're in the exit row, we have to say we're going to help, whatever, and then we have like 15 cocktails. So maybe they finally wised up to that, to this like, we can't have you agree to help and then give you 38 drinks.
Yeah, it's kind of counterproductive.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, when this plane goes down, you're like, are you willing to operate the door and help a fat lady in an emergency? And you're like, yeah, sure. But if you had 38 drinks, you might not be able to get that door open.
Right.
So there you go. But he had to move, and we really laughed at him. And it's fun when your friend goes through an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah,
It's fun to
absolutely.
watch.
It's the best.
Yeah, as long as he's not getting waterboarded, but he had to move to a shitty seat, and he's a big tub of lard, and he was uncomfortable.
And it wasn't one of the long flights.
No,
it wasn't
no.
Melbourne to San Francisco.
2 hour and a half, something like that.
Yeah, fuck him.
But he was like, we go on next flight, no drunk jokes, no nothing. I was like, you got it. And every flight we went on, I was like, having a good time. But there you go. That was Melbourne. Melbourne was great. We were out. We went to the club after, the big comedy club in Melbourne, and did a spot. A lot of gays. I'm in the green room with 12 comics. They're all like, it's all pipes, put it in my ass, that's lunch.
That's sweet.
I'm gay. And it was really when's Joe coming? Get Joe out here.
I get a lot of Australia messages, but it feels overwhelming.
Yes.
And I'm like, I got to get to Australia. But in reality, I'm like 38 people have messaged me, which is a lot.
They
But
got
you're
friends.
like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, that's like a 60-seater.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't have friends, let's be honest.
That's true. A lot of incels out there. But great time. Luna Park, right next. There's an amusement park next to the theater. So I'm looking at this theater, and then there's a roller go, woo, right on the
Wow.
ocean. The whole thing was majestic.
Wow.
It was really something. Then it's off to Brisbane. Now, this is an
I
interesting...
forgot about Brisbane.
Yeah, Brisbane's a kooky town.
Where's Brisbane? That's north?
It's more over here.
Oh, okay.
It's they call it the Florida of Australia.
Oh, really?
So I was like, "Oh, this will be fun. See how the Florida goes, because they're already a little wacky out there. So let's see what
Sure.
Florida's like. We're gonna do bath salts and shoot up a gay club. Who knows?" So we get to the Brisbane. It's so pretty. It's on the beach. It's a beautiful little city with the river running through it, like Chicago, similar, and very nice, beautiful people. And Youngblood goes, "I'm sick of these shitty seats. I'm gonna bid." We're on Qantas. You can bid for first class.
Qantas never crashed.
Is that right?
That's the big famous line from Rain Man.
Oh, yeah.
Qantas never crashed. You have got to get to Melbourne to fly to whatever. Actually, I think he says Sydney.
Oh, definitely Qantas. So he's like, you can bid. Have you heard of this?
No.
You
I don't know
go,
the bid.
I'll bid $100 on a first class. And if no one else does, or they bid 98, you get it.
What?
Yeah, it's
So
a
the-
fun move. But if you
that's-
don't get it, you don't lose money.
That's if the seat is open?
If there's a couple seats, and if no one buys them, and they just have an open one, you can bid for it.
So there's not an upgrade system there?
I don't think so.
Interesting. I wonder if any of the annoying Australians didn't know what you were talking about when you were like, I got the upgrade. They're like, what do you mean, mate? And then they get like
Oh.
fucking thrown out.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Maybe your secret code sucked.
Yeah, well, we got out of there. Great upgrade.
Okay, so he bids. So what happens?
So he got it.
What?
And he's like, I just paid $100. I got the best seat. He's laying down. He's eating ice cream, the sprinkles, the jimmies, the crushed nuts, the shoot your tits off, the whole thing.
No kidding.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, that's a pretty cool little system there. So he won. He got the fucked with the drunk thing, and now he's in first class
All
of the
right,
next
well, that's
flight.
good.
So
for
he's back.
Youngblood. How's he doing, by the way? Did he? Because he can really drink and get a little
he
dicey.
got after it. He went to the casino one night, won 15 hundo.
Yeah.
That was big, and then we went back the next night. He lost 8 hundo. And he went back the next night, and he was up again. So he's an animal. He's a wild child.
I worry about him a little bit, and he's a big guy. He's got children, and he drinks a lot. He gambles a lot. He scares me.
Well, he's living on the edge, and we were pretty rode hard and put away wet. I mean, it's already been 2 weeks that we drank every single night, and
boy.
you don't get any sleep because you have to fly some days, and you got to get up early and hangover and all that. We're eating meat pies and eating ass. So I go, we got to get IVs. This is out of control. We get IVs. You feel like Chappelle. You feel cool. You're in a hotel room. I'm in a suite in Brisbane, overlooking the city in this beautiful hotel. They really hook you up out there, and everything's cheaper. So I'm getting these IVs. You feel like a rock star.
Wow.
It's great.
You be careful out there, old Youngblood.
Yeah, careful there. But here's a wacky thing. Each city we go to has a different time change. Some half hour.
Half-hour time change?
Isn't that a mind fuck?
Wow.
So you go, hey, what time is it in Sydney? It's 3:00. What time is it in Brisbane? 4:30. You're like, what the shit? I can't handle a half hour. That throws a whole wrench in the gears.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
I've never heard of it either, but it ain't fun.
Weird. It's like when TBS did 5:05 instead of 5. It's
What
just
was
it's
that?
a little off.
5:05. Fuck you, Ted Turner, you cum guzzler.
I read a whole Wikipedia about that recently.
Hit me, fat.
You know how what ended it? What fucked him is because one of the reasons they did it was when people would go flip around, their stuff was still on, so you would stay on the channel. Because everyone else at like 6:55, you'd be like, all right, the show ended. Let's see what else is on, and then they would click over, and Saved by the Bell would still be going. So that was one benefit, but also
genius.
in the TV guide, they got their own section. Because it was like 5 p.m., Seinfeld, Alf, Your Mother's Cunt, Debbie Does Dallas. 5:05, it's just their thing. But one of the reasons they stopped doing it was because the channel guide went on to the TV itself. TV guide is obsolete.
Right.
And then the channel guide became the kind of checker system we're used to now.
I see.
Not checkered, but like, what do you call that? Microsoft Word or what's that called?
MSC? No.
With,
DOS? No.
The word pipes. What do you call that? You
AI.
use a...
Analog?
No.
Digital floppy disk.
But it has
hard
the
drive.
long rectangles instead of...
HTML.
No.
I thought I had that one.
Microprocessors.
About spreadsheets?
Spreadsheet, yes. Now it's like spreadsheet,
There
you
you
see.
go.
So it's a spreadsheet, so it doesn't benefit them.
I see.
You see?
Yes. That's clever.
Yeah, it was very well. Ted Turner is very clever, this guy.
Yeah, because I hated that, but he got me. I watched TBS for 38 hours a day.
It was great. They still start their movies off a little bit, 7:35. I just read the whole TBS
Wow.
Wikipedia
That's
recently.
what's fun about you. You go, what's the deal with this?
I like
And
to read.
You Google.
I like to read.
Yeah.
Because I love to read. But yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah,
Ted Turner.
that's fun, and I like those little entrepreneurial thoughts. Like, fuck it, let's try this. It'll break the whole system. And everybody goes, that's crazy, and then they do it. It works.
He
I
thinks
love that
outside the box, and then he invented cable news, which is crazy. And but he had a saying. I watched the Arnold doc. Did you watch
I
that?
loved it.
I didn't care for it, but
Really, the Nazi dad?
I had a controversial tweet. I had
Oh,
a really
really?
controversial take.
What happened?
Well, I thought I didn't watch the whole thing. I guess they go back to the Nazi dad at the end.
Nah, not really.
But I had no idea his dad was a Nazi. Evidently, that was common knowledge. Here's
I
what I
didn't know that either.
suspect. So they literally go like this. He's like, well, my dad, he was sad. He came back from the war and he had lost. And I was like, how's that?
Yeah.
And then it just cuts to a photo of him with a Hitler stash. So I was like,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
They really glossed.
His dad was a Nazi? That's wild. So I tweeted, boy, they really brushed over this Nazi thing. And then everybody was like, what do you expect him to do? He's not a Nazi, you piece of shit. And people are very...
I'm not saying he's a Nazi. I'm saying his dad was a Nazi.
That's exactly what I said. It was so mind-blowing that I was getting heat. But I guess Twitter, it's all controversial. But
Sure.
here's what I suspect. I think because he's like a Republican... I tweeted, hey, his dad was a Nazi, and they think that I'm like trying to cancel and saying he's a Nazi.
I see.
And I had to argue with like 50 people. I'm like, I'm just saying I'd like to hear more about that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Arnold's a Nazi.
I love Nazis.
I don't want to cancel Arnold. Great guy, whatever,
Conan,
bullshit.
yeah, twins.
And one guy was like, "What else would you like to have heard?" I'm like, "Am I like losing my mind?" I'm like, "Did his dad ever express shame? When did
Yes.
you learn that your dad was a
Yes.
Nazi? Was there any lingering anti-Semitism? How do you feel about America? Was he
Yes.
shamed? Did he? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
How into it was he? Was he at the camps? Was he not at the camps? Did he like Hitler? Did they have a photo of Hitler on the wall? Give me something.
how did he come to be a Nazi? Was he 100% in, or was
Yes.
he brainwashed? I mean, what? I mean. And I said, I'm making a documentary about Tom Dustin. His dad's a car salesman. Half the movie's about his dad.
There you go.
A Nazi dad.
I love a dad. I want to hear more about that. I don't know anything about your dad. He could be a Nazi.
And some lady, he could be. He's never said anything.
Kyle.
But somebody was like, why are you fishing for likes? Why not just write to him? I'm like, text Arnold? Literally, this is like a real tweet. And I'm also like, first of all, it's on Twitter, so it's like
Yeah.
everybody wants likes. But I'm like, I thought it was like humorous to me.
It's a funny tweet.
But also, I'm like, my beef is not with Arnold.
No.
It's with the filmmaker.
Yes, yes.
They brush over they talk about his mother folding laundry for half an hour, and then they're like,
Right.
his dad fought with the Nazis. And another person wrote, don't you think, isn't this common? Isn't everyone from Austria and Germany in that time the son of a Nazi or the daughter of a Nazi? But I'm like, yeah, did any of them become the Terminator?
Yes, exactly. Not a good name for a Nazi, by the way.
And I'm like, yeah, I've never heard from any of them.
Yes,
And
yes.
the best one, because everyone tries to do this gotcha shit. And I'm like, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying, first
Completely.
and foremost. One guy was like, didn't you say you changed your name to avoid the Nazis or whatever? Because I talked about how List might have had a Z, but they changed it.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was like, hey, I said, I suspect that happened. I don't know for sure. But
Yeah.
also, the reason I said it is that's interesting. And I'm like, how are you getting like changing a name to avoid confusion with being German
Yeah.
to being a Nazi? The man
know.
grew up with a Nazi in his home.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I love Nazi shit. That's the whole History Channel. It's all Nazi shit. It's
Of course.
interesting.
There's like 300 hours of documentaries and books about the Nazis.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest movie stars of all time was raised by a fought in the war Nazi.
And he's this giant mogul, so maybe Nazi dad is helpful.
But anyways,
All right.
I didn't know. So maybe these people knew, and people were like, he's given speeches about it before. He's talked about it to death. Fuck you.
Well,
And also, I realized I watched the doc. It's pretty much just a puff piece. It's not like a hard hitting
no.
documentary, which I guess that's the movie I want.
Right.
How about the part where he fucked over his buddy in the flexing contest?
That was crazy.
I was like, this guy's a piece of shit. I
would-
actually think I hate Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I would have admitted to that. He's like, oh, I told you I'm going to beat you. And he's like, he was better than me. So I had to come up with this plan. And I'm like, you cheated.
Yeah, and he's like, he was so
totally
mad. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you were just really shitty to your buddy and you didn't win fair and square?
Yeah, that
And
was
then
gross.
he's driving around in a tank, and he's like, I was responsible for making the Hummer a vehicle that people drive in the street. I'm like, all right, you
The
fucking
Hummer,
little dick
yeah, it's a
douche.
gas guzzler. Everybody hated it, and it ruined America.
Christmas. I'm just like, I don't know. I find him to be like,
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone will hate me.
No. Well, it's also weird when they're like, he groped all these women. He's like, I didn't grope any women. And on the bus, did you get to that part?
I didn't get to that, but I watched the
Oh.
first 2 episodes.
Well, he's like, all right, it was a couple, but come on. And I'm like, oh, so you did do it. Like, what are we doing here?
And then he's like, I met my wife, and the first I said to her mother was, your daughter has a great ass. Ha 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 ha. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong
yeah.
with you?
Yeah. Well, he's a son of a Nazi.
Yeah, well, what can you do? But anyways.
Either way, he'll be back.
Yes.
But good point. Oh, shit, I had a thing. Oh, could I just say this? Speaking of Nazis, who did people compare evil people to before Hitler? You know, it's Obama's Hitler, Trump is Hitler, everyone's Hitler.
Yeah.
You're a Nazi, you're a Nazi. Like Ari Shaffir's a Nazi, you know, in the media.
Yeah.
But what did we say before that?
That's a good point. Well, I guess there was other bad people
Mengele,
before. Yeah.
Stalin? But they're all kind of the similar.
Well, Stalin was the same time as the Nazis.
Yeah.
The Nazis really trumped Stalin, I feel like.
Oh, maybe, what's that guy? The Mongolian guy.
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Maybe him.
Isn't it like all of we're all related to him somehow? There's some crazy stat. Like
Yeah,
98% of people are Genghis Khan's son or something.
I'll take it.
Ratha Khan.
Yeah, Khan.
Shaka Khan. Khan's Film Festival.
Con artist. All right. So, yeah, but either way, we had a great time in Brisbane.
Can't Buy Me Love. All right.
We did 4 shows in Brisbane. It was super fun. Great town. I
forget about Brisbane.
So, I should say this. Every show I do a little Q&A at the end, blah, blah, blah. People go, do a shoey.
Shoey?
You know what a shoey?
I don't know shoe. I know Chewy, Baka.
those were both horrible. That's my elephant.
My elephant's pretty good,
That's
I think.
a pretty good elephant. Hey, that's great. Michael Winslow over here.
Okay, shoey.
So we do get the shoey, do a shoey, and I'm like, you know what a shoey is? That's where you pour beer into a shoe and chug it. It's like an Australian athlete thing. Some UFC fighter, I think, made it famous, or a rugby player or
That's
something.
appalling.
Yeah. So Bert did it. He got laryngitis. Because you got to think you're drinking athlete's foot, jizz, dirt, dust, poo, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not into the athlete shoe. What's it called? Shoey?
Shoey.
That's obnoxious. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's literally the grossest thing. I'd rather drink it out of a bra, or I'd rather drink it out of your underwear.
Oh, I'll hold
I guess
you to
it
that.
won't hold it in.
My underwear are pretty crusty. I mean, it's a plastic cup at this point.
I feel this way as a real hard drinking piece of shit alcoholic.
Yeah.
I never liked any of the fucking drink out of a shoe, handstand, keg stand. I'm like,
Right.
I'm just drinking.
Yes.
I'm drinking all day and all night. I don't need to put it in a shoe
That's a good point.
or butt chug. It's fucking amateur hour.
Well, I think it's this tradition over there, and it's a little bit of a control thing. Like, come on, do our thing.
Right.
You're this comedian guy who we all paid to see. Give us something. Do this for us. And I'm
You're
like,
giving them a show.
show's not enough anymore. So
Showtani.
every single show, shoey. And I go, fuck off with the shoey. Apparently Shane Gillis, he got booed. They booed him and they called him a homo and all this shit. And so he got buoyed. But I was like, I'm not doing a shoey. And then on the way to the last show in Australia, we're on the drive to the show, the theater, I go, what if we did a shoey on this one? We really wrap it up. We're going to New Zealand tomorrow. Let's just end with a banger.
Okay.
And they go, that's not bad, but you really want to drink out of your shoe? And I go, what if we go buy a shoe?
I like this. That's what I was thinking.
So I'm compromising.
I'd buy like a nice stiletto high heel.
Oh,
Because
shit.
that way you can put it in your ass later.
That's not bad. Shit, I should have done that. All right, well, we made this whole plan backstage. We had a lot of laughs, a lot of fun going. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to yell Q&A. People are going to yell Biden, Trump, whatever. But then the tour manager, Brad, is going to yell, do a shoey, you cunt. So
like
then
that.
I would go, I'm not doing the shoey. And then they all go, shoey. We planned it out perfectly. And I go, fuck it, I'll do a shoey. Youngblood's off to the side of stage, chucks me a fucking Chuck Taylor. I grab it, and I go, what about a beer? James McCann comes out, he hands me a beer, I pour it in, and it's fun to catch it. You know, you catch the shoe, you pour it's all one motion, you chug it, they go ape shit.
Wow.
I throw it to McCann, he says no, that gets a laugh, and then I throw the shoe back. By the way, people are throwing shoes on the stage. To be
Wow.
like, here you go, we were so ready for this.
You're like President Bush.
Yes, I slipped it, and by the way, that was a great slip.
Yeah,
did.
he's a good athlete. He took the strike.
Yeah.
He bombed a couple countries.
Yeah.
He took a shoe to the face almost.
Decent golfer, I think.
Yeah, now
Rode
watch
a
this
horse.
drive. Yeah.
Yeah,
Flew
yeah.
the plane
There
into
you
the
go.
tower.
Yeah, the drone strike, 9/11. So do the shoey. The place goes nuts. We end with a bang. We fly to New Zealand, and New Zealand's a whole nother bag of hammers. Talk about remote
Yes, tease
Control.
New Zealand.
teasing.
We're gonna get to New Zealand, NZ.
Yeah.
I want to hear more too. I want to get into some of that. That was like a good overbrush, but there must have been some fun little tweaks and twalks.
A lot of little nuggets. I feel like I'm hogging. I mean, we
Well, people want to hear the Australia. I'm dying to see it, for God's sake.
All right, well,
they missed you.
nothing too crazy. Just a lot of great lunches, a lot of great laughs, a lot of late nights, strip club, koalas. So I saw a dingo. By the way, a dingo is just a dog. We go to the zoo. They're like, oh, you got to go see the dingo. I'm like, oh, the dingo ate my baby. It ate my ass. I want to see the dingo. Bingo. We see it. It's a canine.
Yeah, I think I saw one at the Palm Springs Zoo and thought the same thing.
I was like, you can feed this thing Alpo.
What babies?
Or there you go. So the dingo was shitty. I'd rather meet Ringo. And yeah, a lot of little things. Just little jokes. The upgrade thing worked. We did a lot of bar shows and bombed. It's a wacky system comedy. But you get to meet all the comics. Funny people out there. Really impressive.
Wow.
And I'll get to New Zealand.
I got to get out.
later.
We'll get to New Zealand next time. We got to wrap this thing up. What a trip. What a journey. You're looking over for more. You're looking at dates.
Oh, no, I'm just looking at I just want to make sure I covered all Australia.
Well, we got another episode to shoot, for God's sakes.
Yes. Now, you want to... How bad are we, Chuck? What are we at?
We're overtime.
We're at 105.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well,
Probably like 103 because we started 2 minutes in.
Because mine are a little longer here.
you want to do dates? You want to plug?
I got to get some dates going on.
Same.
What is this? Racket. Bidet. Guy gave me a bidet. Wanted to shout out to the bidet. Love the bidet.
Bidet.
The onesies. I got a car. A woman gave me a card with a very sweet letter with $50 in it, by the way. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. People just giving us cash. It was one of the most touching things I've ever. I should have brought it in.
Did you install the bidet yet?
I have not yet because we're moving. So it's a lot of
Pipes.
things. Yeah. So I'm going to wait till we move upstairs. And I get so emotional that I'm moving my apartment. I love my apartment so much.
Same building.
Same building, but you realize I've never been more full of pride of anything in my life than this apartment.
It's a beauty, and you got that basement, too.
I know. You know what I realized? When I moved to New Jersey, I'm going to keep the basement. I'll have an office.
Oh,
10 minutes from LaGuardia. I'll be
love
connected
it.
back to the city. And then the night before a flight, I come in and jerk off, fucking side piece down there.
So you just tell the landlord I'm out, but let me keep the basement.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you care? It's just the same amount of money, and then I'll have a
Man.
place.
You're Anne Frank.
That's pretty good.
Well, that might have been an attic.
Well, whatever. Who cares? I'm an addict, but
Yeah, fentanyl.
I'm working on it. All right, big dates coming up. Improv. Hold on one second. I would love to do a weekend where we don't condense to one show on Friday. July 13th to the 15th, Irvine, California.
Woo!
Come down from LA. Come from wherever.
Great club.
I'm excited about that one. Yeah, I went there once. I went for Sal. I don't think he enjoyed my opening for him. Oh, we're good now. July 20th through the 22nd, San Jose Improv.
Hey.
And then this is big. July 19th, July 3rd. July 19th, I'm back with the Missoula Paddleheads. I'm playing ball again.
Oh, Whitefish.
And this time, last time we played in Whitefish. This time we're in Missoula, home turf. It'll be a home game. So come out to that if you're in Missoula. I don't know if I'll do a show, but I'll be putting on a show from that dugout, and I might get in that bat. I'm scared to death.
Yeah, Missoula.
Hitting the batting cages. So San Jose, and then August 3rd to the 5th is Providence, and then I got Nashville coming up. I got outside of Pittsburgh, whatever that, Homestead, Pennsylvania. Doing all these improvs, comedianjoelist.com. And then August 18th is when I'm going to release the YouTube special.
How do you like that?
Friday, August 18th, and that's going to be
Noted.
something. Make sure you go and subscribe ASAP to that, and a bunch of dates, so come on out.
Hell yeah. My dad's out.
Thanks for all the gift cards. Everyone just came with onesies and gift cards. I'm running a little, I probably have too many onesies, frankly.
Oh,
but
yeah, good point.
Everyone brought Starbucks gift cards and Chipotle gift cards, and someone gave me cash, and it's just been very delightful. Thank you for all the beautiful, positive response. We haven't recorded since the big announcement. Everyone's been very kind.
Cash is
Thank
clay.
you. Yes.
Maybe when I have a kid, just throw me those onesies that you didn't use.
I'll pass them on down.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll get a bunch of my father's gays.
Oh, I love it. I'll get the shit stains and all. All right, folks. I'm back on the road doing a tour called You Don't Say in August, and I realized I was in Australia. I was drinking. I wasn't doing a lot of writing and all that shit, so I am way behind. My special comes out July 25th. I got to put some new shit together because people are going to see this, and then they're going to hate me when I do the same stuff. So I booked all these wacky gigs. I'm going to Iowa. I'm going to, what's that, Phantom Power? Out in PA.
Yeah.
I'm going there. I'm doing all these weird rooms, one-nighters, two-nighters, just to try to fucking build some stuff. So I'll put all those on my website. Come on out. Look for some weird gigs because I'm coming towards you. I got a nice, big, chunky window of nothing, so I'm filling that all up. And July 25th is special. See me on the road, theater tour coming out in August. We're going all the way through to the end of the year. Praise Allah. Check out his specials, mine on whatever. And what do you got, Chuck?
So check out the new Hot Gay Sets, which just came out, episode
Yes.
11, with Joe at the PS 109 with Matt Wayne.
That's
and
a
Mike
fun one.
Cannon. It's really good. And check out my podcast, Fun Bearable. 2 days from now, Mike Cannon is the guest on Fun Bearable.
Oh,
So if you'd like to
love
see
the
Mike
Can.
Love
Cannon
Can.
on Hot Gay Sets, check that out.
Cannon.
And actually, I think everybody else on it has been on Fun Bearable too. Joe, Matt Wayne, Ronan, they're all in it, and they've all been on the podcast. So check out Fun Bearable, funbearablepod.com.
Hell yeah.
Thank
All
you,
right.
folks. Subscribe, all that stuff. George is saying stuff.